I'm back with another recap. Day 2 of OTAs. Followed a little bit of the same type of protocol as yesterday, working on the fundamentals. Yesterday was a lot of red zone work. Today they worked, the middle of the field. What I read in the articles on Giants.com, again, the beat writers, media is not allowed in these first 2 practices. They will be, in attendance on Thursday. So I'm assuming on Thursday, Twitter's going to blow up with a lot of updates, some videos, some pictures from practice. We're going to get a lot more of information, more than what we get from Giants.com. But all in all, shout out to John Schmelk, shout out to Dan Salamone with all the updates that they posted on Giants.com. And again, all this information that I'm giving you right now is directly from Giants.com. Go ahead and check it out. Bunch of pictures out there. It's a little bit early still, so I don't know if they dropped the video yet. By the time that you guys see this, I'm pretty sure the video will be dropped at that time. But again, a solid practice. I'm hearing that it was a clean day. No interceptions thrown by any of the quarterbacks. So that's no Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, Tommy DeVito. No interceptions all day. The Giants did work the quick pass game. So again, getting the ball out quick. They worked on that today. That was the main feature. So you got a lot of, short to intermediate routes that these guys are running. And what I saw from what John Schmelk was saying, there were a couple passes downfield, but only a handful of passes downfield. But the ones that were completed downfield with some pretty good throws and catches. So let's get into that right now. The player spotlight today is going to be on Parris Campbell. From what I read in the article on Giants.com, is Parris Campbell showed off today. He was involved in the short passing game, intermediate, and also some deep passes as well. He showed off his speed. He showed off his route running ability. One of the ways that they explained him is like you have a wide receiver built like a running back, so expect a lot of yak, after he catches the ball. So excited that we added Parris Campbell, something that we haven't had in this offense in a long time, not since Hakeem Nicks. And speaking of Hakeem Nicks was in the building today. There was a picture of Hakeem Nicks with Brian Dable. I always like when they bring the players in, and not only just any players that actually won Super Bowls. And as a fan, you like to see these guys in practice. You like to see these guys talk to these guys, especially with this wide receiver room. If you get a guy like Hakeem Nicks in here who already works with, young athletes to help them and groom them into being professionals. So shout out to Hakeem Nicks for that. But I love to see, guys like that come back, especially when this wide receiver room is going through so many changes that it's going through. An influx of young talent is coming into, this room. I'm glad to see that a guy like Hakeem Nicks can come back, talk to the players, talk to the coaches. And, it's just a good look all around for the New York Giants. Good for the players, good for the fans. So I do appreciate that. Now, getting back to it. Yesterday, we saw a report, shout out to Bobby Skinner. He noticed that Bobby Okereke had the had the green dot yesterday. But we saw today also Xavier McKinney was spotted having the green dot as well. So now you're seeing that in these practices, they're trying some things out. Okereke and McKinney both have the green dots. I know Wink is usually used to having a safety, or always uses a safety as far as their main communicator on defense. But again, safeties don't come off the field. Xavier McKinney, healthy, barring all the crazy mess that happened last year, you expect him to never come off the field. Now, when you have a linebacker like Bobby Okereke, this is a 3-down linebacker. I don't expect him to come off the field at all either. I don't care if it's sub packages or not. This guy's a sideline to sideline linebacker, and he will be on the field, in my opinion, all 3 downs, regardless of what the game situation is. He's that good, he's that fast, and he's that instinctual. But it's good to see a rotation, or either having both of these guys, playing with that green dot, getting that communication and feeding that information to the players, because you never know what's going to happen. So shout out to Wink for that, showing some growth, showing some change, willing to adapt. Not just safeties having that green dot, so shout out to him. Another guy I want to spotlight is Flott, Cordell Flott, and it's for a funnier reason. Cordell Flott looked like he gained a little bit of weight. I reached out to Cordell Flott. I didn't get an answer back. I always reach out to players via direct message and stuff like that. I never get any kind of comment back. So I'm going to keep on trying, though. I'm going to keep on trying. One time, maybe they answer me, but I did reach out to Cordell Flott, and this was a couple weeks ago, asking him about his health, asking about, his progression in the weight room. Again, got no response back. don't expect it, but I'm always going to try. Remember that. I don't ever feel embarrassed about things like that because I'm trying to bring this content. Not only am I nosy, but I want to bring this content to y'all because I think it's important. A lot of things that people worried about with Cordell Flott was his weight. The man has shown that he can do some things. Good length. He's 6'1". He was 170 pounds. My ideal weight for him, anywhere from like 180 to 184. Now we're cooking. And I'm looking at him today. They had a quick video of him walking onto the field and looked like he gained a little bit of weight. It might just be my expectation and want for him to gain weight that made me think that he was a little bit bigger, but we'll get to see that. And hopefully maybe after this video, if somebody watches this video, they can say that, okay, yeah, Cordell Flott gained a little bit of weight. But I think that's very, very important because to me, that man is the slot. It's the slot corner, going into the 2023 season. So speaking of the secondary, Flott had a good day. Also, Darnay Holmes had a good day as well. Now, a lot of people feel like Darnay Holmes is one of those bubble players with the kind of money that he's making. Do you possibly cut him before the 53 and then try to bring him back for a cheaper deal? Or if we do have enough money, you just keep him on there because he does have value to this team. He adds value. He's an additional cornerback. He adds depth to that room. So what happens with Darnay Holmes, whatever, that we're talking weeks, a couple months, down the line. But Darnay Holmes had himself a good day today too. So I'm just going to look down my list again to see what other highlights are there. David Seals also had a good day today. Had some good catches downfield. Like I said, there was only a handful of deep passes thrown today. Tyrod Taylor threw 2 of those, and both of those went to David Seals. Great catches from him is what I'm saying. Again, I haven't seen any video. This is all off of the articles going on today. But again, a lot of 7-on-7 today. No 11-on-11, no 9-on-11. None of that happened. You saw a lot of individual drills as well. Again, the wide receivers, they had a lot of focus on the wide receivers in the article. So they were working on intermediate routes. Bryce Ford Wheaton, they talked about a little bit. Again, the rookie Jalen Hyatt showed that he can run these routes. And again, we already know what it is when it comes to Jalen Hyatt. We saw the video. You only got speed, but the man can run routes, and he's showing that he can actually run routes. He has a route tree. So if he can perfect that, we got something on our hands right there. But again, just happy about the growth, happy about guys coming back from injury. Oh yeah, there was some news. Deonte Banks did not make it to practice today, but for a good reason. The man walked in his graduation at the University of Maryland. So salute to Deonte Banks getting his degree. Shout out. It's always great to see guys go back and finish what they started, and it tells you a lot about their character. For Deonte Banks to go back and get his degree and also graduate early, if I'm not mistaken either, because he was only a junior. The man graduated early, so he's about his business. You see, he has a good head on his shoulders, and you know what? I applaud any young man, that's thrown into the life of football, but still has the morals enough to go back and complete what he started. And that, I don't care if it's the first year. I don't care if they retire and they go back to school. Then they went back and got that degree that they worked hard for during their college career, and he did that. So shout out to Deonte Banks. But that's going to wrap up the recap for today. Again, another solid practice, 7-on-7. Parris Campbell showed out today. I think we got one with him too. His contract is incentive laced. So, in order for him to get all the money, he has to perform. And to have that extra push behind you, and again, this is going to be a new offense for him. I just can't wait to see what happens. I'm excited for training camp. I'm excited for these preseason games because that's probably going to be the time where you get to see these young guys play. Also, another thing before we go, I heard some bad news in my opinion. They had both Jalen Hyatt and also Adoree Jackson back fielding punts. I don't want Adoree Jackson fielding punts at all. I know I'm a nobody when it comes to this Giants thing, but I remember what happened last year with Adoree Jackson. I do not want that man returning punts. Jalen Hyatt, I'm even a little bit iffy on him as well, returning punts. I think he's going to be too valuable to the offense. Now, I will say this, the guy that's coming back from injury and I think makes sense back there is going to be Wan'Dale Robinson. I think he's a lot shiftier than Jalen Hyatt. And again, Jalen Hyatt did not return in college. So this is something brand new to him. I don't know if he did it in high school. I don't know if he played around in practice and did it, but he never did it in college. So for me, I'm thinking Wan'Dale Robinson. I'm thinking maybe we stick with one of the backup running backs to do that job. But please, please, please do not put Adoree Jackson back there on punt return. I'm begging you. We saw what happened last year. I'm not trying to see that happen again, and we're going to need all the pieces to this defensive puzzle in order to be successful this year with this gauntlet of teams that we got to run through on our schedule. So again, I will end it here. I want to thank you guys for vibing with me from one Giants fan to another. This is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.